a lot of people, older people especially. And they also thought, I think the Democrats were a little too frisky about it. They seem to like all these changes. They want more and more and more. And the people said, enough, slow this train. I'm sure that's one reason why, even in the burbs, people would have changed their minds.
Well, on race, as I've looked at it and sort of absorbed a lot of this, particularly the Charlottesville period between that Saturday and Tuesday. What I saw the president do effectively and what he did throughout the campaign was pick at the scab of race. Picked at it, picked at it, picked at it until it became a wound again. The healing process that had begun in the 50s and 60s with the marches, the great speeches by King, certainly involving the assassination of leaders, all of that came flashing back for a lot of people. And now you saw young men in their early 20s and teens in nicely tailored suits, not hoods, not with torches, but with tiki torches, out saying and protesting and claiming the same thing around issues of race that our parents and our grandparents had to deal with. And that, for a lot of people, was just very unsettling. And the one person you go to in that moment, as we turn to Reagan, we turn to Johnson, we turn to our presidents to sort of help us process and deal with this. He was the man who was picking at the scab.
It was going the wrong way.
It was going the wrong way.
What do you make of the fact that Roy Moore, the recent candidate for senator from Alabama, saying he liked it back when the families were united?
Oh, yeah.
During slavery. The one thing everybody knows about black families is the way the money business of slavery worked is you sold, if this kid's big and strong, send him to the guy out in Oklahoma somewhere. If this guy's weak, make him work somewhere. But they divided up the families like they weren't even a family. There was no unity of families.
But I think that's the problem is with.
I'm talking about the slave trade.
The slave trade, yeah.
Awful it was.
I mean, at a bigger level, and I don't want to get too much into it. There's a problem right now where you actually have school books that actually want to sanitize the history of the United States. In Texas, in particular, they want to basically say that slavery was actually an economic gain for the folks that were involved in it. That is not true.
You mean the slaves?
The slaves,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, they benefited.
That it was benefited
because they got free food. They had a roof over their head. I've heard this.
This is
like the original American.
Yeah,
exactly right. But I think
you 3 squares a day with your job. Unfortunately, somebody's whipping you, and you're in shackles, and the boss is having sex with your daughter or your wife because he feels like it.
They're trying to delegitimize an actual American experience, and that is the problem. But the bigger problem, I would say, is with the Republican Party is that he is basically betting on that brand to continue getting him elected. But how are they going to basically rise from this if he's continuously polarizing the American people along race? And that is going to be very, very difficult.
The suburban voter is embarrassed by this.
Yes.
They may have left the city as part of white flight a generation ago. They're embarrassed by racism. They may not be any better than anybody else, but they are embarrassed by it. And they don't want to vote for a president they believe is a race guy.
And the fact that even after Charlottesville, you had Tillerson come out, you had Mattis telling the troops, hold the line because stuff is going a little bananas back at home, tells you that not everybody in his cabinet actually believes these, even Republicans. But he is playing with the
Doesn't believe what, Maria?
They don't believe with the divisiveness that the president is basically propagating when it comes to race.
They don't believe it. They don't support it.
They don't support it. They don't believe in it.
But you know what else? The suburbs are increasingly diverse. The suburbs are no longer this all.
The near suburbs, especially, and the ultimate, the
demography is
the bottom line is we still sanitize race. We still sanitize the conversation around race, and that's something that has to change in order to effectively deal with it.
That conversation will not be led.